Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you've seen my previous videos, you'll see that I tried something new. I tried to record from my iPhone, and I like the results, actually. I like the results, but something with iPhones, they run out of storage space. Actually, iCloud runs out of storage space. So that's why I'm doing this. Anyway, I thought this is good because I wanted to do kind of a longer video this time. I promise it won't be too long. I wanted to talk about what I learned as I developed as a writer, and I'll be using some notes here. Now, when I started off, I wasn't. I guess I was kind of geared. I was about 7, 8, something like, and I would write little things. It was age 9 when Transformers was very popular, and although I didn't have a lot of money, unlike some of my friends who apparently could afford a lot of these, I couldn't afford them. No, I was stuck with converters. Anyway, so the boxes of each Transformers character would have on the back, would have what they would call tech specs, and it would start off describing the personality of the character and the abilities, the strengths, and so I would, not being able to afford a lot of them, I took my notebook. I actually had 2 notebooks, and I would copy them. And what I was doing, I didn't realize it at the time, but what I was doing was creating what is known in the industry as part of a series Bible. The series Bible is created by somebody, usually an executive producer, who wants to create a new television show as part of the design process. It would start off with a premise and then describe. I'm sorry, I realized I was doing this a bit. All right. Would describe the premise of the show, the kind of the conflict, and then describe for the main characters. Would spend some paragraphs talking about aspects of the major characters, and then for the minor characters, maybe a paragraph, something like that, and spend another amount of space describing the standing sets and the types of episodes and the basic format. So I didn't realize that was actually what I was doing. I was compiling these character profiles. So I remember in elementary school, when I would have free time, I knew these characters. I would just write sometimes they would be script format, sometimes they would just be stories with in paragraph form. And so really in middle school, sometime I wrote my first teleplay. As I'm talking about this, I'm going to tell you about what it takes so you can know what skills are needed to be a good writer. Anyway, I wrote my first script. It was for an episode of the Star Trek: The Next Generation, and it was called The Dead Space Scrolls. Now, it was very short, mind you, but it was in script format. Now, I want to mention, by that point, I certainly learned what a script page format looks like. You have, now there are specific margins, and it varies depending on whether it's live action, like a sitcom, or if it's more like a movie or something, a drama, filmed drama. They're going to be a little bit dense in the pages, but the general format is the same, so the spacing may be a little off, but the format is about the same. You have the left margin, you would have what's called a slug. It would say like um, main character's bedroom, or it would show the setting. It would say main character's bedroom, or kitchen, or living room slash dining room, meaning that the scene or that shot goes from the living room to the kitchen in one continuous shot, or one continuous scene, sort of. I shouldn't say scene, shot. And sometimes if it's outdoors, you may see hyphen night or day or something. I don't want to get too technical. All right, so the slug line is the left. I'm trying to do it on the left side of the page. And then from the left side of the margin all the way to the right margin, you would have a description. And it's basically describing what's going on, kind of like a narrator. And for anytime a new character is introduced, you would write the name all in caps, and any sounds, any special effects, you would also write in caps, all in caps. And so if you want to write dialogue, that's something different. You would write the character's name speaking in the center part of the page. It's all in column. And then beneath the character's name, a little bit wider, I think about maybe 3 inches, you would have the dialogue of the character. And if you want to say what's called a character cue, you would, underneath the name, in parentheses, you would have like angry, or sad, or curious, or puzzled in the parentheses, and then beneath that you would have a good chunk of the dialogue, what the character is saying. And if you have several characters, or if you have like an ongoing conversation, you would have like person A, dialogue, person, and skip a space, person B, dialogue, space, person A, and it goes on and on. Generally, that's basically what a script is composed of. So I wrote this. I was kind of proud of myself. I was also writing a novella using Transformers characters, but I don't want to get into that. There's also something called a pitch query. A pitch query is, I don't even know if they use them anymore, but maybe all right. It's a query is a letter. You've written what's called a spec script. It means you're not in the industry. You don't have an official job. This is for TV primarily. You don't have an official job. You're not on the writing staff. So, but you want to demonstrate. You want to write a script, a speculative script, a spec script, as a demonstration. Like this is my style of writing, and so, or this is how good I am. It's like a calling card. So you show it around. You want to show, like, if you want to get on the staff of Star Trek, you might find like a Quantum Leap episode, or some other kind of like Babylon 5's episode. You want to write something like that. I did the mistake of actually writing. I wanted to get on the staff of Star Trek, for example, or some of these other TV shows like Married with Children, and I made the mistake maybe of actually writing a spec script for Married with Children to get on Married with Children. And I've read different advice saying you shouldn't do that because then you may be judged. The other writers might feel apprehensive about reading something outside for their own show. I don't really, because I'm not in the industry, shows that whatever I was doing, I wasn't in the right position. I wasn't in Los Angeles. Maybe that's it. But in any event, it's mixed whether you should do that or not. So at least that was my impression. So that's a query letter. Is a short letter. It says, "Hello, I think I want to be a writer or something, or I've written this." It says, "I've written this spec script title. and you want to get you should copyright your script. Not that it's probably expected that somebody will copy the work, but you want to protect yourself. There's something called a cheap way of, essentially a cheap way of copywriting, where you mail out a script to yourself, and then as a package, and then when you get it back, you don't open it, you keep it closed until there's some question as to whether you had been, that you, somebody, if there's suspicion that somebody else had copied your idea or your script, you want proof. The proof is in the mailing, the postage date. So you can prove, hey, if you open it, you'll see that this script matches the other, or is very similar to this other script. And so I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing. I don't think women do as much, which is point. So I'll try to avoid doing that. So you can open it, you can see the postage date, and you will see that I had the idea before, it's probably way back here. So I would write these. I didn't have an agent. It's also something that you should do. There are very few shows. I don't know if any shows that would even accept scripts from outside. They would have their own writing staff. But the good thing is that Star Trek, I love Star Trek, Star Trek would accept stories from outside. And a number of good stories, a number of good episodes were produced based on outside submissions. And some people even got on the writing staff because of it. And that's what I wanted to do. Okay, so I was writing teleplays as opposed to screenplays, which they're about the same thing, but a teleplay is for a TV show, and a screenplay is for a feature film or something longer form. Now, for the actual writing, you want something with conflict. You don't want it just to be a story. You want something bigger. You want a sense that you, as the writer, are trying to demonstrate some kind of moral message, or some kind of message, some kind of philosophical point to the audience. So you want, underlying this conflict, you want the message to be there, and you want the conflict to demonstrate different aspects of this scenario that you want to talk about. This is where you have allegory, which is something, sadly, I hope is not being lost. The ability to see allegory, basically meaning, as an audience member, oh, I've seen this. I haven't ever been in a situation that I had seen, but I can see how that situation is reminiscent of something that I've lived in. So you can analogize. So you want the concept, the kind of conflict to be there, but you may want to create an allegory, a different scenario, but one that the audience can then recognize in their own lives. Right. I hope that's clear. So you want to be able to bond. You want to create characters that you can bond with. You want a main character who's not necessarily the protagonist. The main character, you want the audience to be able to bond with the main character. You want, and that doesn't necessarily mean that the main character has to always be good. I guess you want the main character to be somebody the audience is rooting for. So let me see, conflict. Oh, also, it's an interesting book. When I began college, I bought this on my own. I mean, not part of a course, mind you. Um, it talked about designing a roller coaster, and you'd have ups and downs um, in terms of emotion, in terms of conflict. The two are kind of tied together. You want to you know the roller coaster itself, and you have support beams, and the support beams are the levels of conflict in your story. So if you have if you want the roller coaster to go up, now this ties in with suspense too. If you want the roller coaster to go up, you would create a support beam, a pivotal point in your story that would have a level of conflict that's stronger, more captivating than one down here, which is shorter and maybe at the beginning, closer to the beginning of your story. um, um, so, right, so that's how you create the suspense. Moving on, pitch query. So I wrote these teleplays, and I went to college and lengthened it to writing screenplays. And I was still sending them. I was still living outside Los Angeles, and I was using my mom as an agent. Now there's something called the literary agent. It's been a long time. Pardon me. It's been a long time since I've talked about this stuff. But there's the Writers Guild. That's it. The Writers Guild. There's the East and West. And if you write to the Writers Guild, or now I guess these days it would be email, they will send you a list of all of the literary agents. Now, a literary agent is an agent who their books once they're literary agents for books as well as for screenplays. It may have changed since then, but the list will show the person's name and whether they represent writers of TV or writers of film or writers of books. And it depends on what you want. If you want to publish a book, you would seek out those agents. And because of fear, because of legalities, you really need an agent, which is something I did not have. And I didn't live in Los Angeles. I didn't have an agent. So again, when I was writing, I was trying to, particularly Madonna, when I was writing, trying to write a good enough screenplay, not only was I trying to write something competent enough to earn her respect, but good enough to tell an agent that I'm good enough to be represented. So once you have an agent, then you have somebody who will support you. It's like a password. It's like a gateway. With an agent, they will recognize you as a serious writer, as opposed to somebody who is just a layperson, the riffraff. You've made it past the riffraff because this agent has read your work and deems it worthy enough to be considered. He or she is the gateway. Now, there are a lot of, nowadays, there are a lot of different ways people have gotten around agents, but again, I was outside Los Angeles, I was outside New York City, so, and I didn't have that much experience, so I was kind of stuck, and I'm still kind of stuck. That's why I'm doing this, and doing YouTube channel. Um, I don't know if I'll ever be able to have, and I also have my Amazon store. I want to do more writing, um, but I don't know if I'll ever get to the movies. um, so let me see, how long have I gone? It's about 20 minutes. I guess I should stop it right here. Let me see if there's anything else. You want to have theme, few things. You want to have good characters. You want to have theme. You want to have conflict. You want to have a message. Visual and sound design. You want to think about the visuals. There's something called an image. Well, I like to call it an image system. Some people call it an image system. It's where you have if you want, here, let me see how I can describe it. George Lucas has done this. Steven Spielberg has done this. Famous directors. It's a tool in the industry. You want to remind the audience sometimes about either a previous film that they've likely seen or something in the public consciousness. You want to elicit their memories of that by setting up your shots, setting up maybe with a sound or dialogue, or visually setting up your frame. I'll give you a good example. In Star Wars, in A New Hope, George Lucas probably referenced or copied the image from, I think it was The Searchers, which is a Western. It showed somebody standing there looking at this town which had been destroyed. And so this is probably what George Lucas had in mind when he had Luke Skywalker returning home and just standing there looking at this smoldering, this willowing smoke of what was once his home. There are moments like that where you specifically copy the shots from, or setups, or visuals, or sounds, or references to earlier things in public consciousness, like films and so forth, to add an extra meaning and reference and power to the scene that you're describing, you're illustrating. All right, so I've talked enough. I may return to this later, but I wanted to deviate away from the makeup and the singing to this time talk about film, which is film. Okay, all right, I'll see you next time. Don't forget, if you're new to this channel, if you like what I'm talking about, I talk about, obviously, my story writing and developing my look as Samantha, developing myself maybe as a singer or a composer of music. I want to get into that. Consider subscribing to my channel and liking the video, and tell your friends, tell people you know. I want to build this channel. So, all right, so I hope you have a good week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.